Now, I've actually sold tens of thousands of dollars doing dropshipping right here in Australia. Now, this was even during the pandemic, right when it started back in March 2020. I started a bit before then. I was actually able to have two winner products, one in late 2019 and the other one in early to mid 2020. So the two products that I had that actually scaled to over 10,000 per month in revenue was a teeth plug scaler and a resistance fitness band set. Now, in terms of profit, these scaled to about 500 to 1500 AUD per week in pure profit. That's after product costs, that's after ads, that's after everything. And keep in mind, one of these products, the resistance fitness band set, was actually sold right in the midst of COVID. This was when everything was locked down. People were saving money, but they're actually spending it. So what I can say is a lot of that success not only just came from the product, the ads, the store and whatnot, everything comes together, but it also came from the payment options that I gave for my customers when they came onto my store. I had the obvious Shopify payments, I had PayPal, but then the last one is the one that I want to talk about and I think was a big contribution to the success that I had during the course of selling these products. Before we get started, if you do enjoy this video, if you do like this kind of content, please give this video a like, thumbs up, and subscribe to the channel, maybe hit the notification bell if you do enjoy this. But without further ado, let's get into it. Now keep in mind, this was only in Australia. I was only selling to Aussies, only advertising to Aussies, only shipping out to Aussies. It was nowhere else. I just wanted to create a sort of challenge for myself, especially during the midst of COVID, and see if I could actually sell it just to Aussies. So there's one payment method that actually worked for me really well was actually Afterpay. Now, a lot of you may have used Afterpay. I use Afterpay myself. And one thing that I've found is that Aussies love to use Afterpay. The majority of my transactions from these products that were going through my store, I use the same store, but when I sold those different products, I just changed it up. And it was just one product stores. It was just the teeth, the dental plug scaler. And then I changed it in 2020 to do the resistance band, the fitness set that I was selling. And most of these transactions were coming through Afterpay because these products that I was selling for around 40 to 50, maybe I think $60. It was anywhere from 40 to $60. And these people loved, like all the customers love to use Afterpay. The first things first, the obvious reason why people would love Afterpay on stores is because not only is it an easier payment option, you can pay it in installments of 4. That's basically what Afterpay is. If you're not sure what Afterpay is, it's just basically a buy before you pay kind of thing. It's like you get the product and then you just pay over, I think it's once a week or once every 2 weeks. And you just pay it over installments of 4. And I found that Aussies really, really love Afterpay. I'm not sure what it's like dropshipping to other parts of the world using Afterpay. I've only done it with selling just to Aussies, but Afterpay is just a big one here. So back when I made my merchant account, this was around late 2019, it was quite simple, okay? And I'm gonna show you basically what I did. I basically filled out a form and then I got an email with a contract. I put in the contract, filled out a few more details, and then bang, I was ready. They gave me a merchant ID. They gave me the things to connect it to my Shopify account, and then bang, it was up. And then you could basically connect it to there, and then you could accept payments through Afterpay. It was really, really good. I'm going to show you the process, what I would go through if you were to launch Afterpay on your store in 2021 and 2022, but it's a little bit different. There's a few more restrictions, a few nuances that you need to know about. Just going by what I've heard from other people and going by what I read up on as well, because things are changing as well. It's not just dropshipping, but it's everything else around dropshipping as well. What I've got here is just the Afterpay merchant form that you fill out. And it says, tell us a bit about your business, and you basically fill it out, very self-explanatory. Now, I'm going to talk to you a little bit about things that they're going to look for, okay? It was very different when I first started because Afterpay are sort of being a bit more restrictive of what businesses they let use Afterpay on their stores, because basically how it works is that with the dropshipping model, if you're dropshipping from say AliExpress, basically how this is working is that people it's like you're getting the money, right? You're getting the money straight up, and then Afterpay have to wait for the customer to spend, so basically to spend, like pay up the rest of it, right? To their business, to Afterpay. So basically what was happening is someone made a $55 purchase or $60 purchase on my store. I get the money straight from Afterpay. Afterpay are the ones waiting. The only thing with that is that there's problems that arise when it comes to the shipping times, the return rates for a lot of dropshipping businesses. So what I'm guessing was happening was you had a lot of faulty, and I didn't have too many issues with this, right? Later on down the line, there was a few more issues when there was a lot of stuff happening with AliExpress and the shipping times got longer. then I had to look for alternative methods, right? And I was getting a few more returns than what I usually would, but then I had to change it up, right? So what I'm guessing a lot of people were doing is they were having these terrible shipping times. They were maybe lying to their customers. I'm talking about the people who own these dropshipping stores. Because basically what's happened now is that Afterpay are very wary of giving you access to become an Afterpay merchant if you have a dropshipping sort of model business, right? Because of these long shipping times, because of the high return rates, obviously it's going to be sort of more of a losing situation for Afterpay, because if there's returns, then they don't get the money, and it's just a whole mess, right? So here's a few things I would consider if you are looking to put Afterpay into your store, because I think it's a great option. It can increase your sales so much. It increased my sales so much, and that's why I was able to make those figures, and that's why I was able to make the profit, because people were, it just heightened your conversion rate, because people thought, okay, look, this is a decent price, but I don't have to spend the $60 straight away. Even though $40 to $60, not a big amount of money to spend on a product, but it's easier for them to just do Afterpay. I do Afterpay a lot of the time on orders, like maybe not $50 to $60, but anything that's maybe like $100, $150, $200. Sometimes I like to do Afterpay. It's like, even though I've got the money there, you like to use Afterpay. So I think one thing to consider as well, because it can be a good thing to use, one thing to consider when you're signing up is being wary about what sort of business you have, what sort of dropshipping business you have, right? Because on this form here, they ask you, is your website live? They give you the URL, potential Facebook URL, country of operations, average order value, and then total annual sales. You got to fill that out, right? And one thing to be wary of is that it's going to be hard for you these days to get to allow Afterpay to grant you access if you have a dropshipping model that is the basic, okay, it's shipping from China, you got a 30-day wait time or 40-day lead time or whatever it is, and the whole dropshipping model Afterpay is sort of steering more away from, right? That's what I found out. So if you are a dropshipping business that wants to get into having Afterpay as a payment option, I would suggest having a dropshipping model that it's sort of you're more along the lines of having more control over your freight. It's basically like you're more so in the operations of shipping instead of just having it shipped from China. It's going to be very much less likely that Afterpay allow you to have a merchant ID and connect it to your store if you have the old dropshipping model. Call it the old dropshipping model, but the very basic dropshipping model of just shipping straight from China to your customer, right? Because Afterpay don't like that, because I would say they've had a lot of bad experiences. It used to be easier before, like I said, but 2 years later after that, it's a lot harder. So let's just say that they actually like your application and you get put through. Considering all of this, let's just say if you're either shipping from within Australia, or if you have a good business model that is drop shipping, but it's not the normal kind of drop shipping business model. Let's say you get approved, right? You submit this and then you get approved. You will get an email, and I'll put a screenshot up here somewhere. After you get the email, you'll get an agreement that you need to sign off on. They may ask for a few more details, potentially. I'm not sure if they ask for an ABN here in the form. I don't think they ask for an ABN, but they usually will ask for an ABN and some other business details in the actual contract that you sign. And then basically what happened with me was I filled out the form, filled out the contract, provided any other details I needed, and then they gave you a confirmation email that gives you your API, which is basically like your secret key to put into Shopify. And I'm not going to show you how to connect it to your Shopify in this video. I just want to talk a little bit about Afterpay. But they give you that, and then you're basically good to go, right? So my bit of suggestion, or my suggestion for this, if you want to become an Afterpay merchant, is really be careful about how you word it. If you are dropshipping from China, maybe try and word it a different way to Afterpay and say, look, it's a Chinese supplier, but they have stock in Australia, or something that sort of mitigates the fact that you are doing the normal dropshipping model. If you really, really want Afterpay to basically have no pushback, then you should be looking for suppliers from Australia, right? I have videos like that on my channel. You should be looking for suppliers like that from Australia, because all Afterpay are doing is basically saving their own asses, right? They're basically, saying, okay, if you have, good shipping, that's why they're asking for all of these average order values, total annual sales and whatnot, because they're more so looking to work with with businesses and websites that are already generating sales. So you're more likely to, if you're already built up a little bit, they're more likely to accept you, right? So another thing I would suggest is maybe start trying to grow your sales with other payment methods, like just the normal Shopify payments with your credit card or your debit card and whatnot. Do PayPal as well. Try and grow your sales through those methods, and then you can maybe look at Afterpay, because Afterpay is a big one. Like all the main, like all your main, I guess, websites. Like even if you're looking at things like Udi and Gymshark and whatnot, I was watching videos on them today. That's why I thought of them. They all have Afterpay as well. I'm guessing they all have Afterpay, because every website that you go to now, I order from Nutrition Warehouse, and they have Afterpay as well. It's like an online supplement store. Everyone has Afterpay, and if you have Afterpay, it just increases your conversion rate so much, because most people don't want to spend that amount of money all up. It's all about this whole cash flow thing, right? So they'd rather just spend $20 up front and then spend $20, $30 every 2 weeks, right? And then they just pay it off. It's just easier for a lot of people. So that's one thing that I would consider if you're looking to become an Afterpay merchant. And I think it's a really, really big thing, because it helped me so much. If I didn't have Afterpay, I don't think I would have brought in those numbers from just selling in Australia. And I think it's a massive opportunity. So if you're looking to really grow your dropshipping business and sort of, I guess, grow your conversion rate in a sense, you know, considering the fact that you do have a good product, you have a good website, good ads, I wouldn't just go on a brand new website and just try and get Afterpay straight away. I would grow yourself a little bit, grow your sales a little bit, and then after that you can apply for Afterpay. And if you have an actual set out method, you can show Afterpay that you have a really good business model, you have good customer retention, you don't really have many chargebacks. If you can give them that information, then they should be happy to take you on board. But I hope this video helped you guys anyway. And if you do have any other questions about it, please let me know. I do have quite some experience with being an Afterpay merchant as well. I still have my merchant ID. So I'm basically ready to go. Like basically what I'm doing with my dropshipping at the moment is I'm in the midst of changing things around and really sort of trying to branch out from just Australia. I like selling in just Australia because I have more knowledge on the market, but really changing things around, playing with different suppliers, because AliExpress is just not really the go at this current point in time. So I've been changing that around, and then obviously wanting to keep Afterpay, because Afterpay does increase conversion rates from what I've seen from my own experiences. So if you have any questions about this or about dropshipping in general, please let me know. But apart from that, I hope you guys are doing well, staying safe, and I'll see you guys in the next one.